What's up, boys? Today we're going to be taking another shot at the full plasma status effect build on the Scout. Since they did the rework on the Mark II unstable overclock for the plasma carbine, it now gives a ton of potency and a decent amount of fire rate and reload speed. It does have 3 unstable overclocks available, and in order to really get good value out of it, you're also going to need 2 different status effects added at the stable overclocks as well. So we're looking for the burning effect and the freezing effect, and then eventually adding a ton of potency to it. And to go with that, we're going to add a bunch of other medium weapons that can have status effects as well that the Scout has access to. The deep core can be changed to either electrical or cryo. We're definitely looking for the Nishanka Bolt Shark, and we're also going for stats that help us debuff like fire rate and reload speed more so than damage. The Nishanka can have 4 different status effects, so that will be great for applying a ton of debuffs to enemies. And then other than that, we can get probably the boomstick maybe for medium with access to either electrical or cryo. Ooh, carbine right away. Fire rate for everything, sure. Oh yeah, piercing's also a pretty good stat. Already got some of that for the deep core, and that will allow us to apply debuffs to a lot more enemies at the same time as well. For the electrical effect, that's pretty nice, since that will, I guess, exponentially increase your AoE damage with it, since you're applying the debuff to more enemies, and then the chain lightning effects are then hitting every enemy based on that. Ooh, purple fire rate for the carbine.
You're cute, but you're dead. Boom, baby!
Damage. Let's get some mining speed. Always feel like I'm lacking that on this map, since the elite waves seem to come out pretty quickly a lot of the time. Luck, yup. Jet boots are always fun. I don't know if they're good, but we're doing it. Fire rate, yep. We do need to get one of the damage conversions on the deep core to start finding potency for it. So that's going to be pretty important once we have access to that. I think I'm going to go ahead and destroy the healing crystals so I don't accidentally pull the elites through them. That especially seems to be pretty important when you're playing a build that's kind of weak early on. If you accidentally heal them up for like half their HP, then you just might not even have enough damage to even clear the level. Let's just take a jump here, I think, on one of the weak guys. decent crit chance. I think I'm just going to take the fire rate level on there. Since we're going all in on status effects, crit won't be... Well, it'll help the early game, actually, and that's the hardest parts.
There are too many to count. Get it done, Reidan.
Here, have a bullet in the face. Let's clear them out. Let's do it.
Get it done, Reidan.
Good piercing into an overclock. Do I want to take the cold right away? That will significantly lower our maximum damage. But the crowd control is always nice, and if we get another electrical weapon, which the Nishanka is guaranteed to have, this will help me avoid some of the upgrades that might not be great for me. Since we kind of want the carbine to be the focus of the build, and that will unlock electrical stuff. See if we can go snag some XP without taking too much damage, hopefully. Fire rate on the carbine. Try and line the shots up onto the elite now. We need to get him a lot lower.
This ain't a picnic, Miner. The bugs are all over you.
Well, we're gonna have to take a hit to jet boot out of here, I think. And then the M1000, we can go fire on that, and it wouldn't be too bad if we eventually get the shotgun effect. I could just take the stun sweeper for some nice utility. The sidearm overclock isn't as valuable for status effects since it only applies to direct damage. So honestly, I think just the M1000 for a full medium status effect build then. Carbine, I'll probably take that just to grab the level even though damage isn't the best. Let's grab some pickup radius here since we are on the way out and trying to grab all the XP here. Big damage. It's not the greatest for us, but again, that'll be a big help in the early game. Big XP, we can grab some potency for extra freezing in there. Let's do some rerolls first, see what we got. Ooh, big reload for the main weapon. And I can get one more with that. Some movement is nice. Do I want the piercing there? Nah, let's look for some more carbine. Like some piercing there, perfect. And then we got the slowing effect for that, so that's a good start. I'll lock the luck. And then, do I want to lock a paint job? Probably, since that gives us a lot of levels.
There's beasties to shoot and work to be done. Get to it, Miner.
So we now have great CC and still 0 damage. Well, we actually have a decent amount of damage with the crits and projectile damage. But 0 status damage, which is what I'm going for. Pop-up is pretty hard to use, but we actually kind of can with a lot of freezing weapons. But mainly I just want to get it out of the artifact pool and damage, just for the level mainly.
Prepare to fight for your life. The big swarm is approaching.
Actually, you know what's probably going to happen at this point is I'm going to miss the burning overclock for the carbine, and have to pivot into full, like, direct damage. And then we're just going to be absolutely insane with those strong upgrades we've gotten for that route already. Big fire rate, yeah. Well, it's clear, but I don't think I can stand in there right now.
Swarm detected. Get ready. We'll be with you shortly.
Decent fire rates. Please give me the artifacts. They're okay, but I want to find something cooler. I just don't understand what that does on this map. Oh my god, these are terrible. Come on. Cold for the one weapon. No, it's still terrible with a 30-second cooldown. I'll grab some more pickup radius. I just wasted all of my nitra for nothing. No. Bit more mining speed. Fire rates on the carbine. Trying to get the deep core and M1000 shots on the elites, but they are taking very little damage.
Get it done, miner. The bugs are furious.
I'm trying. Hopefully there's some decent XP from all that. Looks like absolutely nothing died. Nishanka, there we go. That should help at least. It has the precise tag as well, so it will always target the highest HP enemy, which should help here. Big damage, not the greatest, but it'll help us out when we're struggling. Decent fire rates. Jesus, those guys are tanky. Need to try and focus the elites still. Status effect, we only have one weapon currently, but it is what I want to go for.
This ain't a
Let's go for that. Try and see what we get on the second overclock, since that's going to be very important for the build. If we don't get the fire effect on that, then status damage becomes a lot worse. Big fire rate, yeah, I guess we'll go there. Paint job, we'll take that on the Nishanka since that's pretty far behind. Let's not do that actually. Big pickup radius, that's pretty nice right at the end. We can grab most of this now. Reload status, we'll keep going there. Should be one of the best damage stats if we can actually get the important stuff for it.
Stage 2 completed, taking you closer to your target.
So we can't even get that because of the rerolls. If we're rerolling a bunch for the gold, I don't think I want that locked anyways, taking up a slot.
Surely next time will be better.
Unfortunately, we can't get the overclock there now. Global damage is good. A lot of nitrous stuff. Potency. I do want to lock that though.
Gimme.
But if we don't get the fire thing, then I'm going to be in a pretty rough spot.
Let's try again.
Just gonna grab some
See these every day.
movement speed here and move on. Try and actually get some nitro saved now.
You beautiful mineral. This rock is gonna be the death of us.
Medium reloads. We should be able to line the detonators up pretty nicely now with all the piercing that the M1000 and the Nishanka have. So if we can just tunnel in a straight line, they won't be quite as much of an issue. And of course the plasma bouncing all over the place as well. Piercing, I want to see what we get. Okay, we got the double status effect. Looking good now, we just need the unstable overclock, which are not guaranteed since there's 3. I do like Encabulator, but the mining speed is going to be super annoying this early on. Let's go ahead and snag the Chemist Kit to fit with all of the status effects. Damage. I'm gonna grab a bit more mining speed.
Let's get the mineral. Loot bug eliminated.
Swarm detected. Get ready. They'll be with you shortly.
potency, more freezing. That's not really ideal having them camping on the healing crystals as they're getting frozen, so we're probably gonna have to destroy all of those again. My damage still isn't amazing, but we've at least started getting some burn stacks now. Another decent pickup radius. Actually, damage does seem pretty good if I get a bunch of bounces in a narrow hallway and line them up for the bolt shark.
I'm leaving on a jet boot. Na 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 na.
Got your sense now. Threat level increased.
I love how they added a bunch of voice lines to all the dwarves, and they're just like songs and weird stuff when they're jumping through the air.
Can't hang around forever, miner. These bugs aren't your friends.
I'm not scared of you.
Fire rates.
Yes.
Potency on the carbine.
Suck on this, you freaking.
Can't hang around forever, miner. These bugs aren't your friends.
Quite got it. It's all you got is slippery shit.
Big reload. I think we will take that so we can eventually get the fire conversion on that to get some status scaling for that. I'm gonna take a jet boot jump here, I think. From one of the small guys, we'll grab potency here over a 1-tier damage advantage. Fire rate or reload? What do we need more here? Looks like probably reload.
Stage 3 completed. Taking you to stage 4. Did good work, miner.
Big reload, grab the potency here, and then I'm probably going to look for some big stuff for the carbine to try and push that up to 18 luck every time. I do like paint jobs for the very low weapons to give them some efficient levels. Piercing, definitely. I like fire rate and reload, but I don't think I'm going to lock them. Unless they're like really high rarity.
This is a simple mining mission. Get it done, miner.
Now you later, stinking bugs.
Swarm detected. Get ready. We'll be with you shortly.
I think we can just freeze the flyers for a pretty long time here. Between the deep core and the carbine. potency, yup.
Power. This thing tickles my blood. Son of a bitch.
Supply pod LZ is full of crap. Please clear it out. Objective completed. Excellent job. Swarm is heading your way. Load up. Got a supply pod incoming. Well
See
done.
that coming, sucker?
Mocap is okay. It's not great or interesting. I guess we'll take it.
Yes.
Don't have that many rerolls left. Second overclock here. Let's pump up the piercing, I think.
Overclock fest. Time to kill.
Allow that to hit a lot of enemies at the same time.
I'm leaving on a jet boot. Na 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 to the sky.
Let's go ahead and start breaking the crystals so we don't accidentally heal the elites too much with those.
Boing. Hey, bud. How's my butt look from down there?
Just trying to hit as many enemies as possible with all the piercing shots we have. Lots of stacks from the Nishanka. Global damage or damage. Probably just grab that.
Just doing my job.
This is growing out of hand. Get it done, Lanner.
Hey, bud. How's my butt
Decent
look from
crit
down there?
chance. I guess we'll grab some more.
You need to move. Recon and holding.
Big status, absolutely.
Quota satisfied. The drop pod
See if we can do a lap real quick for all that XP.
Suck on this, you freaking gangsta.
Another decent status. One thing that I really like about the jet boots is that I feel like you can do sort of risky resource grabbing like that a bit more. Because if you get surrounded, then every 20 seconds you can just break free anyways. Actually is pretty nice little quality of life thing for them. But they're one of the most fun artifacts anyways.
Legendary upgrade.
We kind of need some decent gold to reroll into some good stuff here. Carbine. Probably take a paint job into an overclock, and then here... We already have 2 freezing weapons. Let's go ahead and grab some more burning. I'm gonna take the level here to try and push that up to 18 quickly,
Lucky.
since that is big for
Every
it.
day.
And unfortunately, we did not find the reworked Mark II overclock. So gotta go with the sawn off for a ton of extra bullets fired at the same time. Extra fire rate.
The dreadnought will emerge when you destroy the small cocoons, and watch out for elites. Keep your cool. You will make it out.
So we got the full status build at least, but not quite the level 18 overclock I was looking for. Man, it is really hard to find the combo of both of the status effects and the 100% potency thing. Global damage. I'm guessing sawn-off is better simply because of the insane number of bullets it fires, but I've just been trying for this combo for so long, I still want to see how it plays out.
Too much crap to send in the supply pod. Clear out the LZ, please.
Cold scanner, we could still get some status damage, fire rate, reload speed from that. Kinda late, but I'll try it. Big reload, yep. Did he just say grinder? I didn't know that was in the Deep Rock Galactic universe. Fire rate, yep. I'm going to try and save that magnet for later, so that loot bug lives to fight another day. Or crawl away another day, I guess? They don't really fight that often. Dreadnought twins. Let's stay near a boing pad since they try to charge off screen sometimes. When you can't really tell where they're coming from. Alright, now let's get some big shotgun to the face stacks for lots of burning. And we're probably just going to have to focus the melee guy and wear him down. I don't know that I can reach the ranged one super well with the builds. Nice stats, but we still have some decent time for the luck to pay off. What? Oh. Big fire rates. I will take that for the carbine. I actually don't really need to end this right now. We can run around and farm a bit, just let the melee guys stay alive for a bit. tons of freezing, pretty good AoE damage. Decent enough movement speed and survivability with the classic Scout's passives. Big potency for the main weapon, yep.
Drop pod has arrived. Get there before the timer runs out. The drop pod is not going to hang around.
Piercing, yeah. That's at 8 now. Could still use quite a bit more for that, to be honest.
Going deeper. Stage 6 is next.
Carbine level, paint job to help that out, a bit more mining. Paint job to help that out. That would be the last of my nitra, but we do want the fire conversion on it, so it has a status effect as well and scales with all the status damage. See what else we can find for gold. I might actually lock that, grab some movement, since I do want a lot of piercing on that. Paint job would be pretty helpful there. Hopefully we find some good nitra then.
You have your objectives. Get it done, miner.
Mission control, you silly bugger. This one's for you. I'm not so proud about it.
If we get the M1000 up to level 18, we can now have double flaming shotguns, I guess?
The swarm is heading your way. Load up.
What happens if you land on top of a crystal? Oh, instantly breaks it. That's kind of what I expected, but I hadn't seen that interaction yet.
Well done. You got them all.
Medium reload, yeah.
Got a supply pod incoming. The scavengers lit up like a Christmas tree.
Fire, that isn't terrible. We have triple fire with that and the conversion there and the burning there. It's just such a low amount and the 30-second cooldown is so long. I don't think it's good, but whatever.
Big swarm detected. Lock up and get ready.
They should probably just lower the cooldown down to like 10 seconds or make it like a very long-lasting fire aura or something. Just something so that the actual effect of the item can actually do something.
I'm healing. This rock wants to be my friend.
Fire rate to reload. Guess they both work. And that's why I like piercing. Damage or movements? Movement's better, but I think we have enough, and I do want to get the overclocks at some point. Although I don't think the deep core has anything good here. But in case we want to end up taking the turbo encabulator artifact at some point, it'll give some extra reload speed and damage. Carbine, yeah. Damage, it's not the greatest for a status build, but still a legendary for the main weapon. Has there been a performance improvement lately? Because that's an insane number of status effects, and I'm actually feeling fine right now. An insane number of bugs and status effects on all of them. For some reason, the game's running fine. Grab our piercing. That's about all I can buy, but it helps a lot with getting the overclocks. Cryo, this would only really work if I go for the Nova effect at 18. So I think we're probably just going rubber tip for some extra crowd control. Big fire rates. I don't know if I can afford that, but I want it really badly. Status damage. Oh god. The carbine right after we spend everything. I could maybe grab both of them, but I'm gonna save a little bit of nitra, I guess, if I fully mine out this level. Didn't he just say that? You don't say. fear my tiny little fire shields.
Can't land the supply pod. Impact zone is cluttered. Get it fixed.
Yeah, if they just made the shield on that last a lot longer so that it actually felt like it did something, I think that could work as well. Since then it might actually apply a reasonable amount of burning stacks.
Supply pod cleared. Impact imminent.
I guess we'll just take the powder for a decent... Well, we did want to buy a lot of stuff in the shop, and I do have a legendary locked. And that doesn't really help status effects that much. We're doing it. More carbine levels.
I'm leaving on a jet boost. Hey, bugs. Look from down there.
Status.
Exemplary work. You achieved your objective in a record time.
Ooh, good magnet timing as well.
There is no tomorrow.
The bugs are going insane. Move.
That does waste one level, but I think I'm fine with that.
Gorgeous gun for a gorgeous dwarf.
Yeah, these are actually really bad for me. We absolutely can't take that, and then that makes the debuffing on it worse. But I guess we have to take that one anyways. Not the greatest overclocks for a full status build.
Get it done, miner. The bugs are furious. Can't hang around forever, miner. Outcome. Quota satisfied. The drop pod is arriving. Get moving. It won't hang around.
Status damage. Numbers. Reload. Yep.
Why not?
Probably clip size will help it hit a bit more. We're not going to take the thick boy with the burning effect because the stack damage is based purely on the number of hits, so you're actually significantly reducing burning damage by going for that one.
Coming up next.
Whereas the shotgun conversion is a ton of damage for its status. Bunch of good stuff here.
What else we got?
Potency, even more fantastic upgrades. You know what? I will take a cheap level for that. Help it get up to 18 maybe.
We've got work to do and quotas to meet. You have your objectives.
Next time, let's go somewhere. Ryan, catch me now.
Well done. You've got them all. Prepare to fight for your life. A big swarm is
Oh yeah, I would still like to see a breakdown for various artifacts if they have their own source of damage, like the burn belt, so you can see exactly how they perform at the end of a run. I guess there aren't that many artifacts that have their own damage effects like that yet, but as they keep adding them, there might eventually be that at some points. I want both of these. That would be about 60%. But that would hit a lot of enemies. That one's rare. We'll try and find that later on, I suppose. The piercing projectiles has honestly become one of my favorite damage artifacts, because it's so hard to hit some of the enemies on here, like the wardens especially, when they're just sitting in the back projecting their damage reduction aura. And big penetration just feels good, you know? All those numbers. Big fire rate, status damage. Let's go here, I think. Also works on the base direct damage that we're doing. Helps with freezing as well.
They're getting worse, Miner. You need to move. The bugs are getting worse. Move it. Well done. Objective complete.
Fire rate is fine since we're going sawn off on that.
Time's ticking, Miner. Move it. Station 9 is next. Keep it together.
Fire rate's kind of expensive for one level on that when we're trying to pump the carbine super high. Looking for cheaper stuff in paint jobs, I think. Medium reload is pretty good. Status, fire rate, paint job. Those are done. We don't really need damage. Luck, it's kind of late, but whatever. Piercing and potency, I don't think so.
You have your objectives. Get it done, Miner. Well done. You've got them all. Big storm detected. Lock up and get ready.
I thought that Nitro Scanner would be too late to do much, but it's actually doing a fair amount. We might still be able to get 18 on both of those, and we got some extra levels on the carbine. Probably just buff everything here. That does work on status effects. We would lose 150 HP, which is pretty rough, but oh well.
Prepare to fight for your life. The big swarm is approaching.
Big carbine.
Alert! Threat level increasing.
Now you later, stinking bug. This dwarf got hot. Hey, bugs! Out my butt, look from down there. Boing! Shoot it in the face!
Fire rates. I think we're fine on pickup radius now since we're about to enter the final stage.
Objective completed, miner. Get to the drop pod before it heads back to orbit.
Son of a bitch! Bloody hell, you're hot! Points on it!
Get a move on, miner. Looks like we'll head out momentarily.
Just doing my job!
That elite never stood a chance. I will see to it there is a beer on the house.
We do want to get some more HP now since we lost so much there. Global damage is fine.
Options.
Medium reload, carbine potency.
Gonna paint my
Levels
nails.
for
Surely
that.
next time will be better.
I do want fire rate, but with all that nitra, I think I want to look for the overclocks here a bit more.
Feels right. Let's
So
shake it
we
up.
will hold a bit of gold, definitely take a
An epic fish. Show me
potency for
more.
that. Paint job wastes a lot, may as well just take the potency. And then sawed off massively increases the burn damage with all the extra bullets.
Surely next time will be better.
Carbine.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Do we have any nitra scaling? No, so that's fine to
Don't
take
eat
then.
these every day.
Only one way to rouse the dreadnought. Destroy.
And the double burning shotgun should be absolutely insane at close range with all the bullets hitting together at the same time.
Danger is on. Here we go. Feeling like there is no tomorrow. You got that. You shouldn't eat bread and minerals. It will get you
A
killed.
lot of carbine. We have massive fire rate, bit less reload, so I guess we'll go a bit more here.
I killed two bugs, and I'm not so proud. Wait for 'em.
think any of these really help here. That could, maybe, for the HP. Ooh, Turbo Encabulator. We have almost mined out everything, and that'll give some nice global damage and reload speed. One thing I have to be careful of with that choice is I need to make sure I clear out enough area to kite the bosses towards the middle of the map here. So we're going to try and focus on doing that with the jump pads here if I can. Yeah, double flaming shotgun to the faces. Pretty insane now. Another Carbine Potency, so we're at 613% global damage, not too bad, 474% status effect on top of that, with the double status effect there, and we have fire on all three of these weapons, so should be some of the highest burning damage you could possibly get on a scout then. Their weapons are pretty far away from fire most of the time. Yeah, that guy just got burnt to a crisp. Stack up that fire damage a little bit more so I don't look like an idiot on the end screen. Plasma is almost certainly still higher, but I'll do what I can for it. Still hunting for the elusive double status effect plus the Mark II, I think it is. Overclock at level 18 to give 100% multiplicative potency to everything, but you can't really go wrong with the Sawn-Off Overclock. It is so strong. So did we have any base fire damage? Yeah, both of these. And they were added partway through the run as well, so I can't really do the total for that. 56 million plasma. We did at least have about double that and burn damage, or total fire damage, I guess. The direct damage from these two plus the burn from all three. It's actually not too bad. We did have a lot of direct damage upgrades early on with like crit chance and projectile damage to help us get through the early game, but it did pull its weight towards the ends. Kind of bad artifacts early on until we got into the chemist kits. Scanners were kind of late, but still pretty helpful, I think. Became pretty smooth somewhere around here, and we just were able to farm the levels for a pretty long time. I think once we had the freezing effect added onto that, combined with a cryo from that, we were able to keep almost everything frozen. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.